We spoke about Newcastle today. Incidentally, you're remembering our bet.
Yes, £1,000 if they won't finish in the top 6.
Right, you're saying they won't finish in the top 6. I'm saying they will finish in the top 6.
Indeed.
£1,000.
Yes.
It's going to be a long season. We'll see where that goes, if I win my money or if Mr. Jordan wins the money. But anyway, we'll see what unfolds. We were talking about Newcastle, and you think no matter what, Simon, the amounts of money they are spending is considerable.
Yeah.
Sven Botman, through the door, 35 million quid.
Yep.
Since the owners came in, their business has included Kieran Trippier, Bruno Guimaraes, Chris Wood, Dan Burn, Matt Target, and just last week Nick Pope completed a £10 million switch from Burnley to Newcastle.
A lot of that good sensible business, by the way.
Well, that's exactly what I'm driving at. There's no mega signing in there.
Not yet.
With all due respect to Botman, 35 million quid. Yes, it's a lot of money, but it's not a massive one. Yet. It's not Jack Grealish for 100 million quid.
Not yet, because Newcastle aren't in that position right now. Because they're starting their engines, and they've had to come from a position of almost getting relegated, or people's perception they were going to get relegated in January. I thought they'd buy their way out of it, and they subsequently did, with a combination of very good signings, very good management, and a team being galvanised by all of the above. Right?
Yeah.
And so they spent 93 million in the January window, which is quite a substantial amount of money to spend then. They spent 45 million pounds now. I would wager they're going to spend some more. This is not spending money like Manchester City and Liverpool and Chelsea and Manchester United do, but they're starting their engines. Now, they're building sensibly.
So should we start believing that Newcastle United, the richest club in the world, I know you don't like that journalistic tag the media put on them.
Well, they're not the richest club. They've got the richest owners.
They've got the richest owners, but their spending could be, if they wished it to be, could be almost unlimited. Obviously, they have to come in with certain restrictions as everybody else does. But should we start believing now that Newcastle, in view of the players I've just listed and the prices involved, really will grow themselves organically?
How can you grow yourself organically if you're spending £150 million? Growing yourself organically is doing it by your own volition, not buying other people's players. Look, the bottom line is, if we framework the conversation, are they growing themselves organically? My pushback would be, no, of course they're not. They're spending £150 million in 2 transfer windows.
Yeah, but compared to what Chelsea did when Abramovich came through the door.
So here we go.
Or
now.
City did when Mansour came through the door.
So the framework is, it's not organic, it's reasonable, controlled, sensible growth. Right. So here we are saying, if you compare it to what Chelsea did and what Manchester City started to do in 2008 with the signing of Robinho and people of that nature, and we've seen what other people have done, specifically and explicitly PSG. No, this is not in the same space. Right. What they're doing is sensible, it would appear. They are looking at the reality of the manager that they've recruited. They're looking at the landscape, and they're trying to build a football club with some sensible infrastructure. Because if you can't learn from the mistakes that were made by Manchester City in, say, 2008, when they went off and they made some Hollywood signings like Robinho, and it wasn't an ultimate success. It took them 3 or 4 years to get where they wanted to go. But
we all thought he was going to Chelsea.
It was all part of a journey.
Yeah.
I think Newcastle will spend some more money this summer. They will spend something probably equivalent, in my view, and I might be wrong, to what they spent in the January window. That is not insignificant amounts of money, but what it isn't fueling the argument that they're going to hyperinflate the marketplace, that they're going to buy their way to success, that they're going to be this force for evil because of the nature of the ownership model that's behind it has got more money than God. But they will spend money, and they will compete on wages, and inch by inch, yard by yard, Newcastle will spend and spend and spend and spend and not stop spending. Now, they might have a more controlled viewpoint, which is we'll never dip out of a transfer market. Teams like Crystal Palace that have got American ownership that's very wealthy dip out of certain transfer markets. Yeah. They'll determine their transfer buying policy by who they sold. Yeah. Newcastle will not determine their transfer policy by who they sell.
I get that. But you and I both remember when it was confirmed that the Saudis had the club, and we saw some of the Newcastle fans, they might regret it now, dressing up in the
cultural appropriation
type gear outside St James's Park. The argument then was, it's going to be Mbappe. No, it won't. It'll be Neymar through the door.
But nobody really sensible.
It's now changed. So there is an argument they're doing it organically.
Yeah, but it depends who advanced that argument. Nobody really sensible said that they were going to sign Mbappe. Nobody really sensible said they were going to sign Neymar. The sensible voices said, OK, they're going to spend a lot of money. Yeah. But if they're sensible in the way they spend their money, they'll buy sensible players. 35 million.
They could if they want to.
Yeah, but that's they could do. Yeah, my aunt could be my uncle if she wanted.
They're doing it sensibly.
In this world that we live in, my aunt could be my uncle if she wanted to be. But doesn't mean that's what's going to happen. The bottom line is that they're building a sensible infrastructure to launch off. Newcastle as a football club, whether Newcastle fans like this or they don't, they didn't have a God-given right to be in the Premier League, and whether they like Mike Ashley or they didn't, which clearly they didn't. Financially, he ran it on a tight ship. And I know they hate that, and I know they hate Mike Ashley, and they're now in a different place. So Ashley being brought up probably isn't the ideal scenario for this particular conversation. Yeah. But they need to invest on the base to get themselves to a point where they can make stellar signings. These stellar signings that you think they would want to have, or other people think they would want to have, are not going to go to Newcastle just yet. Because Newcastle, why would they go to Newcastle when they can go to Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, potentially Manchester United, Arsenal, that are much further up the league, much further ahead in their progress than Newcastle are. Now, watch this space. If Newcastle finish inside the top 10, because they will not finish inside the top 6 next year.
Yes, they will.
But if Newcastle finish inside the top 6 for spending 90 million quid this summer and 90 million pounds in the window, then they will have worked the oracle of all oracles.
Job done. You know why your money's maybe not safe? If you're looking at the top 6, you've got to include Liverpool, City, Chelsea.
Yeah.
But then you're looking at Arsenal, United, Tottenham. Are you telling me that Newcastle couldn't nudge one of them out?
Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, Tottenham. Right, there's your top 4 probably.
All right.
Arsenal and Manchester United. If you think that Manchester United...
They're not manoeuvrable.
Arsenal and Man United...
By Newcastle.
Arsenal, if Arsenal buy Jesus... Because I was told the other day, Jesus. How have I got to pronounce this? Because I was told the other day I've got to pronounce it a different way.
No,
right?
do though.
But anyway, Jesus, right?
Yes.
If they buy Jesus and they buy Rafinha, right, then they're a significantly strengthened squad, and they finished 5th last year and did it to themselves. United are going to be better this year. There is no parallel universe. And I'll offer you double or quits, and the money can go to charity if you want to take it. That Newcastle will finish inside the top 6. They will not, but if they finish inside the top 10, then you will see the confidence of the infrastructure bit that's being in place. Amanda Staveley is in there running that football club at the bequest of the Saudis that own the football club. She's not going to make stupid mistakes, because if she does, she's going to feed the narrative that she made a stupid mistake at the beginning, which cost the Saudis more money and 18 months in terms of buying the football club. Yeah. And now she's going to make it a better place. And in a year's time, then Newcastle, I think, will really start their engines. I'm going to
love taking your money.
I hope you do, but you won't.
I mean, Nick Pope, decent goalkeeper.
Yes.
Kieran Trippier has done well already. Dan Burns done well. Matt Targett's done well.
It was interesting.
In comes Sven Botman.
It's interesting. They've got Dubravka and they've got Darlow.
Yeah.
But they've spent £10 million on another goalkeeper. Mm-hmm. Interesting. They're not taking free transfers like Palace are. Palace takes Sam Johnson or Jack Butland. They pay £10 million for a goalkeeper. That's not organic, is it?
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.